Hey guys, welcome. Today we got a full back day workout that will help you build a strong and defined back. So screenshot the screen if you want to try it out for yourself, and now let me show you what to do. So first up is going to be pull-ups. That means you're using an overhand grip on the bar. You can do either 3 sets of 5, which is what I did, 3 sets of however many reps you can do, which is what AMRAP means, or you can do them assisted for 3 sets of 5. If you're going to do them assisted with a machine or a band, that doesn't mean you put on a bunch of weight or use the heaviest band possible to make it easy. It should be just enough assistance and challenging to get those 5 reps each set. Now, the bar I normally use was taken, so I had to opt for this bar, which I never use because it's the actual worst. It's just too thick. The pull supports are poorly placed for gripping. It was really messing with me, but I made it work. So you're just going to go ahead and choose whatever rep scheme you want to work with for your 3 sets, and then you'll move on to the next exercise. So next was a single arm back row on the plate loaded machine. If your gym doesn't have this machine, no worries. You can just do them on a cable machine instead and use a handle strap for your single arm rows. You're doing 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, increasing the weight each set. Now, the benefit of doing them seated like this with the chest support in the seated position where you can see I have one leg up and one leg down is the amount of drive and power I can get from it. It really lets you push your strength, and that's why I love this machine. So if you're going to do them on the cable, instead of just doing them at your standard seated area for rows, which you can still do, but first see if you could grab a chair or a bench and turn it around so the back is facing your chest and mimic the same thing I'm doing here, where you would normally do your standing cable movements rather than the seated area where you would typically do your rows. And you'll really be able to see how much more of a stronger position you're in versus your standard seated cable row area where you're just freely moving. All positions, all variations have their purpose in place in your training, but when you're really trying to push your strength, this is definitely going to be one of the strongest positions. Next up is Landmine Rows. You're doing 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, increasing the weight each set. I'm keeping the rep range smaller here because this is a pretty strong stance, but going too heavy, it can easily become very jerky, and that can have its time and place, but I want to keep the reps more strict and controlled. So small increases with a mid-higher working range is really going to keep it challenging, but doable. If you don't have a landmine situation, you can easily make one with putting a barbell in the corner of a wall, or if you don't want to do that, you can just do these bent over with dumbbells. Now here I am holding it with a V-bar cable attachment. You'll keep it right behind the smaller, thicker piece of the bar that's stopping your weight from sliding back. So you're going to keep that core braced, elbows in, wider foot stance for more stability, and make sure when you load this, you use smaller plates so that you can get that full stretch at the bottom, especially for all my shorties out there. You want to make sure you're getting that full range. And going over to the cables now, we are doing straight arm pull downs for 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. And I try to increase the weight each set if I can, but I will stop increasing if I feel my contraction at the bottom getting compromised. So just make sure you're always favoring form over numbers. Now, this attachment is a new favorite for a few different exercises because of the free range it gives you, especially for moving out at your sides. But you can also just use a standard rope attachment here as well. Now, the best thing you can do during this exercise is to actually focus on your lats. There is a huge difference in feel between you just going through the motions and pulling the weight down, or intentionally thinking about your lats doing all the work, feeling and letting them control that weight down, and feeling them slowly releasing the tension on the way up. These small mental shifts can really elevate a set, especially for movements like this. I'm then going to keep that same attachment and get into seated face pulls for 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, again increasing the weight if I can. I normally do movements for my rear delts on shoulder day, but this movement is also going to get your upper back in general, so I will do this one on either day. It doesn't really matter to me, it just depends on what I haven't gotten in for the week. Now, I actually do these a tiny bit different now. Instead of bracing my feet on the machine and using a rope, I actually sit back a bit further and just let my feet that are on the ground brace brace myself. Because this attachment is so long, I need that extra space, but it also just feels so good doing it this way. Now you can still do it the standard way with the cable rope and bracing against the machine. That's still a great way to do this exercise, but I've just been loving this form lately. It's very minor changes, but they make a difference in how I feel my muscles working and contracting during the movement, so that's just how I've been doing them lately. But that is the entire workout. If you try it out, let me know how it goes down below or over on my Instagram. If you want more structured training like this, check out my website linked below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.